Hello, and welcome to this episode of Daily Dose of Dan, episode 19. 19. Anyway, today is President's Day, and I figured what better way to start out the day than listening to the American presidents. I was gonna do the presidential music that they play during the presidential stuff, but I was like, you know what? I just heard this the other day, and it took me back to the 90s, so I was like, you know what? They fit the day perfectly too, so let's give them some credit. Anyway, I thought today we'd talk about the presidents. Of course, there's George Washington that was like epic, right? One of the coolest things that now, admittedly, if I get any of these facts wrong, please say so in the comments. But I'm best of my memory. One of the coolest things about George Washington was there was a crucial battle where the English had taken a city, and the cannons for the American army had surrounded the city, but they had no cannonballs, and so they bluffed, like in poker, and threatened that they would destroy the city within a minute if they didn't leave. But somehow during the shipping process, the cannonballs didn't show up on time, so all they had was the cannons and nothing to shoot from the cannons. But it was enough to get them out of the city. So that should give you an idea just how witty George Washington was. And on that other note, when we got our freedom and we were talking about having our first president, they wanted George Washington to be our new king. And he was like, no, absolutely not. We just came from that. Why would you want that again? And so between those two things, it really should say a lot. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of other information about him, but just those two things alone should really tell you what type of character he was. I'm not going to go through every president, but some of the ones that stand out to me is Andrew Jackson. He's one of my favorites. He really didn't seem to take any guff from anybody, and he always pushed the envelope. Abraham Lincoln, of course. What's funny is Abraham Lincoln, there's a theory out there, and I apologize if I upset anyone or not, but there's some theories out there that he may have been gay. And obviously at that time there was a lot of, when you think like masculine representation, you think like beard, you think manly, you think Tom Selleck, you think Abraham Lincoln. So I could see why a lot of people would get triggered by like, oh my God, what? But why would you think? You think being gay just started happening just recently? It's just some people dealt with it. The time dealt with it differently, and supposedly he often had other soldiers actually stay with him. And so there is a theory that he may have been gay. There's also a theory that he may have had some type of genetic issues, and that's why he grew the beard, and that's why because he was freakishly tall for the time. So, it's really interesting how history has made these, like, almost made them like gods in a sense. How are they any different? We have statues of them. How's it any different than the Roman gods, the Greek gods that they built statues of? Like we immortalize them and they have to be perfect. They were human. They weren't perfect. They were human. So on top of that, we're going to skip way forward. Bill Clinton, somehow he touched, no pun intended, he really seemed to touch the youth. And I think that's important. You need to get the younger voters inspired. Because, from the appearance, it seems like only old people care. But young people care too. It's just they don't feel like they're being talked to. They're being talked at, not talked to. And, they want to have their input too. So I think Bill Clinton was one of the first presidents that really touched on that. Like, because he was on MTV. I remember him coming on MTV, and I was like, wow, like, okay. And he played the saxophone and whatever. So I get it. He could have just been playing that card, and that's doable. Obama, wow. Obama, after having George W. as president, Obama came on the TV, and it was like a breath of fresh air. Like he could actually like string some sentences along, and he could inspire people just with his voice. I didn't care if he was black or not. Just how he spoke. I always felt that we could have, and admittedly, you know, I get the politics of it. Is like it was hard for him to get anything across, anything passed, because the Republican Party, if they let anything through, it just made him look better and better, and he was already looking great. So they fought tooth and nail not to get anything done. So he was almost a lame duck president. But the way I felt about it is like if he'd have come on TV like about once a month and, you know, like voiced what people were concerned about and been like, you know what, we got this, you know, we work together, because he was a great speaker, and not everyone has that capability. So why not use it to like reinforce, you know, the positivity of what we can do to inspire people. Then we have his wife. Again, I almost think we elected 2 presidents in that election, because his wife, I'd vote for Michelle Obama. She, you know, she was a very capable woman. So I think that was a power duo, totally power duo. And then when it came to the Trump and Biden election, was it Trump and Biden? Or Trump and Hillary? So it was so shocking to get Trump as president. You know, you block it out. But I understand why the American people voted Trump in. Totally. I totally agree. You know, we needed something different. Politics had been the same, you know, but you don't hire a plumber to fix your roof and then complain about it. He had no business in the Oval Office. He had no business dealing with politics or foreign affairs. He was totally unprepared for that. And the people that run for president are often lawyers, super educated people, and it shows. And you want to show your best when you go outside the country. And not that's even beyond any personal flaws. That's beyond any business flaws. Just, you know, I just don't understand, you know, how people don't get the fact that you don't hire a plumber to fix your roof. So some roofers screwed up your roof a couple times. You still wouldn't hire a plumber to fix your roof. You would just try to find a better roofer. So that's where I'm kind of at with that. And I didn't even vote in that election. I view myself as patriotic. I love this country. I feel voting is one of the biggest rights that we have. And even I couldn't vote for that election because I didn't want either one of them. I have parents that are that age that can't program a DVR. I don't even know, even at my age, I would almost think I'm too old to be president if I was honored to be such a thing. Only because I can't relate to 20-somethings. You know, that's their world too. So, you know, I get having experience and I get the age requirements and everything, but I think the world has sped up to a point to where we need to adjust those age things. We shouldn't have 70 or 80-year-olds running this country. People retire before that. So why would you have someone run this country that's at that age? Biden, you know, there again, great guy, seems to be a great guy, has an amazing career, but again, he's an old guy. He's struggling, you know, and he's doing the best that he can, and I appreciate that. But we need to figure something else out with this country. I'm a huge Andrew Yang supporter. His birthday actually lands exactly on mine, 1/13/1975. So, you know, I hope he can get further this time around. But anyway, we're at the 9-minute mark, so this would be a great time for you to pause, hit like, and subscribe. Feel free to comment, disagree with me, agree with me in the comments if you like. I just thought with it being President's Day, what a great topic. I think today's message is to pick a great leader. We need to look at the truth of who they are. Not like, that's why I don't like the two-party system. It almost implies that you have to lie to make people happy, and you shouldn't have to lie. You should be honest. I mean, if you don't like guns, say you don't like guns. That's okay. You know, but don't say like guns and then you really don't. I think that's disingenuous at best. So I think honesty is the best policy. And the first person that can run on that ticket, they'll get my vote for sure. All right, this has been your Daily Dose of Dan. Love you all. See you tomorrow.